Happy 3-3, you fans of 33.3333. 3 means something. The triangle's not the strongest geometric form in the universe for no reason. If you think about it, nothing gets done unless you're doing things in threes. Because in threes, there's always enough input to have your voice heard, but always enough of a how we're going to move forward majority to get shit done. So if you want to be effective, break your teams into groups of 3 and let them go. Or at least, I don't know, that could all be horseshit like that Baskin-Robbins 31 stuff, but it seems like it's right. The stuff about the triangle's right. I'm on my way to my parents' house. My dog Phoebe, the Labradoodle with lymphoma, and I are walking the approximate, I guess it's about a mile, to my parents' house, and we have gotten 2 blocks. So I'll probably have 15 to 20 minutes of recording time, and knowing me, I'll use it all, but it's possible I won't. However, given the topic, which is trying to minimize the anticipation scenario running so as to minimize the opportunities for deflation. What do I mean by any of this? This time I actually know. And what I mean is I gave my mom the first 20 recordings, I don't know, about a week ago. And she has listened to them all, which I know I told her when I gave them to her, she was like, well, this may take me a while. I was like, yeah. And she's like, I don't even know if I'll get through them all, you know? I was like, yeah, and if you quit, just tell me why you quit and why, so I have some idea what, you know, wasn't working or where my messaging got unlistenable. And here we are 6 whatever days later, and she's listened to them all. So, which doesn't surprise me, especially given the nature of the conversation I'm having here. It gives her a chance, I think, for the first time maybe ever, to see the true inside workings of my mind, not the one that I was always bluffing with, or at least putting up some level of charade to keep from exposing that which was so, I don't know, what, soul-threatening if I revealed it? I don't even, you know, like what? I just, at some point, became such a caricature of any other person who would look at me and think, what are you doing, man? That when I look back on myself now, I think, what was I doing? But I didn't even think about any of the variety of woo-woo stuff that I had talked about in those episodes too, because that's one thing I've really never shared with my mom. I mean, little peripheral stuff, especially about dreams. My mom and I have a contact that's a little bit ESP-y. It's much more her than me. I'll just say this, she can sense when I'm in trouble, and has been pretty much pinpoint on when that alarm bell is sounding in her subconscious state. So, and I have no question that I can feel my mom's presence from afar, and I feel it regularly. Which is not to say that I'm sitting there going, you know, if my mom were here, what she'd say right now. It's not like that. It's that I can feel the hum of her oversight in a capacity in which I know there's approval. Well, lately there is. But for a while, disapproval or just panic, to be honest. And I don't feel that anymore. So that's good. I'm sure that helps. I'm sure she's glad to have some of that dripping off. her raincoat of protection from all the thunderstorms I was prone to stir up. So at any rate, that's where I'm headed. And some dogs barking at Phoebe. Phoebe is traditionally a great dog at walking because she knows not to get into other dogs' business when she walks. She's not supposed to do that. But around the house, like when dogs walk by, she's a menace. She's one of those, I don't know if it's a territorial dog, the ones that go. The ones that patrol the fence line and let you know when there's disturbances about, or if she's an announcer who just keeps telling you whenever there's new information in the neighborhood, like, you know, all the way down the street there's a dog being walked by another person. Woof, 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 woof. All the way down the street, even further now, is a dog being walked by another person. Woof, 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 woof. I can almost still see, but I can smell the dog being walked by another person down the street. Woof, 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 woof. Right, Phoebe? But not while we're out just cruising. Then she's just a lovely presence. No tension on the leash. Totally chilling by my side. Right, Bubba? Actually looking for a treat now that you heard her name so much. Why does that have any bearing on what I'm doing? It doesn't. I just love my dog. So, and she's 10 and a half. And she's sick. So every day that she has no problems other than needing me to lift her onto the bed are days that I cherish. Because sooner or later these days are not going to be easy, and then that truly hardest day of all will come, and that is not a day I'm looking forward to with this one, because she's the best dog I've ever owned, best personality I've ever seen in a dog ever, and so she came along at just the right time. Funny how Phoebe's been in my life just exactly almost the time that I have flipped into whatever version 7.3877686753009, whatever version this is. I'm either Robin to Phoebe's Batman, or I'm Batgirl to Phoebe's Robin. I'm not sure which, but boy, do I love having her in my life. So, and I gotta say, I love how much more connected I'm getting to both my parents, as I expressed about my father earlier, and how we have come to a new, I think, friendship level. I even felt that on the phone today, discussing coming up to the house to have some NFL time. I just hear an enthusiasm in his voice that I don't want to say had gone away, but certainly I was prone to dampen, even if it was radiant and abundant. I can have, like a fan on too high a speed, the ability to sometimes clear out the room of anybody who doesn't want to be blown around with my wind and hot air. So again, to hear him bouncing around a little bit about what kind of burgers we're gonna put on the grill, or whatever the fare may be, is good. These are the things that he likes, and make the day just smile worthy on that normal, simple, appreciating what is there to be appreciated in your life. And knowing that I'm back on the list of things that can hit that column, that's a good feeling. Because I wasn't sure how I was going to get this done when I was at my worst. I just figured maybe I'd cause enough collateral damage that there'd be some non-repairable situations. And there still may be. I believe I may be. Phoebe, seriously. Oh, is it large item day? Oh my God. That's the first. Oh, come on. Phoebe, let's go. That's enough. Damn it. They do every 8 weeks. They pick up large items, which essentially means, other than what you can fit into your trash container, you can have those items picked up once every 8 weeks. So if you miss that day, you go 4 months between being able to have what is picked up in a trash container the size of one of those things you can buy at Home Depot. So the only reason this matters to me is because I still have at least 10 bags of leaves that I want to get out, that I've been putting out in my container one at a time, 2 at a time for the last 7 weeks, trying to get them all out of my yard. So large item pickup day allows me to do it for 10 of them. So that sucks if it is, because that means I have to get up in the morning and bag leaves at the break of dawn. So far, that's the only person with bags out, so I can't believe that's true. I know, this is fascinating. This is why you have to take and appreciate life as it comes. Because sometimes it comes in the boring routine of, holy crap, do I have to rake leaves tomorrow? Conversation. So what? The moment of realizing that maybe I don't sure does feel good. Almost as good as, hey, Phoebe, come on. Knowing we're halfway to my parents' house because we're at the park. Hey, that's enough. Come on. All right, so anticipating what my mom's going to say to me here. And this used to be a huge thing for me. Like, this was basically my whole life. Trying to anticipate what people were going to think, do, say, whatever, to me in the capacity that they were both trying to see if I had gotten my shit together in any capacity, or if any of my latest charades were coming apart. And so I was constantly trying to drill through my head how to react to any of a number of revelatory moments that could swing my way at any moment with family members, or not really work members, because like I said, if there's a job to be done, I do the work. But put me in Grand Theft Auto 4 and I just have no sense, or had no sense, of how to stay inside myself and be a responsible human being. So trying to catalog all my irresponsibility en route to a conversation that may expose some of that irresponsibility left me in a position of trying to anticipate how to throw back scenarios that may come my way. And this is one of the reasons I think I got so dangerous around my sister, is because these are games I can't play with her. Like, I can't walk in the room with a pair of sevens and act like I've got a full house. She'll know I'm only holding shit. So again, the family just knows this, and I always thought that if I could just play it confidently enough, there's no way they could know. I didn't understand that, yes, they do know. They absolutely know, and there is no such thing as playing it confidently enough, because all you're doing is hiding from who you really are. Come on, Phoebe. I believe she's eating goose poop at this point. Whatever it is time for the short leash. Up here, Bubba. And so as I go up here, having really said some things in those first 20 episodes that I know I've never said to anybody in my family. Hell, I don't know if I've said some of that shit to myself even. But having given that kind of dialogue to my mother to digest, of course I'm curious what she thinks. I'm curious if she's finding, hey, up here, if she's finding anything here that is of, value in terms of both, discovering somewhat who her son is, and also understanding somewhat what I put her through, and also coming to a realization about what I really feel like I need to go do next. This way. All those coinciding vectars leave me with a whole jumble of wondering what the hell she thinks. But the truth is, I mean, other than thinking she's going to, hey, this way, then thinking she's going to have some questions about my use of marijuana. I don't really know what else to anticipate. And frankly, I don't want to know. Her questions are her own, and they will be in a regard that works for her. She doesn't need to come to realizations with me or anything else. She can just tell me that she found it interesting, she found it boring, she found it redundant, she found it just what she expected. Confirms everything she already knew. She can tell me anything she wants. What am I going to do about that? Nothing. And yet this project isn't in a capacity that I don't want to help those who have been collaterally damaged by my three-ring circus of life experience to not be able to take a front row seat in a comfortable position and watch the rest of the show without worry that they're going to get sprayed by some sort of lemon juice coming out of a clown cannon, or fill in the appropriate splatter in the face metaphor that you like, and I agree it will work. And so I guess for one of the first times, maybe as I walk up to my parents' house here, which is now 2.5 blocks away, although that is Berkeley Lake over there on the left, and it does look really nice. It's almost, I mean, it's not glass still, but it's fairly still. And I always like to watch the reflections on still glass water. It just feels peaceful, even with a whole highway of traffic cutting through it. This way, Hoop. But who do you think I learned all this anticipatory, reactionary, picking the world's vibes up so that you can be ready in the moment to parry, dodge, roll, whatever it takes to play proper defense against any offensive maneuvering that the world may throw? Well, I learned that from my mother, who is the one person in the world who might be more detail attuned than me. I mean, I certainly feel I'm in the championship bracket, but in a one-on-one battle against her, I don't know that I see everything she sees. I definitely don't smell everything she smells. And I don't think, when you get right down to it, that I process as much of what people are offering in terms of empath feeling. I don't think I get as much as my mother does. If there's a witch in the world feeling other people's presence, it's her. And I use witch in the oh so adorable way, you know. But it's time for her not to have to, hey, this way, whatever that is, you are not eating that. Come on. It's time for her not to have to suffer her superpower in my presence. It's time for her not to have to deal with me reacting to her reactions. And I know that of all the places she's put her anticipatory guesswork to some of its most acute and perceptive attuning, it's when she points it at me. And that's just a lot of energy that I know she doesn't really have to give anymore. Really never had to give in the first place. In fact, nobody has that to give. You just demand it, and people either say, well, okay, asshole, here's where we're at. And that's basically the stance I got. Or they say, no, later. Go take that show and put it in someone else's pipe and smoke it. So what would my mother's life be like if she could stop having to counterattack what she thinks are my vibrational deficiencies? Well, I don't even know. It's a world I've never lived in. Well, again, up until 6th, 7th grade, I mean, I was stunning in my potential management and potential realization. But aside from the prepubescent years and these past, say, 3 years, she's never had anything but a right to vibrate in some sort of concerning. Here, let's go up the golf hole. Come on, this way. Hey, come on. Dip, dip. She's had, you know, the traditional, the calls from jail, the cries of help that are involved in notes of suicidal gesture. She's had every capacity in which to throw me a towel of what the fuck are you doing now? And yeah, I don't, you know, what do you say to that? Sorry? No. There's nothing you can say, except I've learned how not to be that damaged person, and I apologize for causing enough damage that you became my caretaker. But that routine's over. We can stop pretending that you and I are at a position where I need you to constantly set up nets under these trapeze wires I consistently think I can cross and keep falling down. No, that's done. And you know, I mean, I know they say that you finally can kick your kid out at 18 because that's when they're mature enough to handle themselves. Well, for my poor parents, it turns out that age was more like 52 and a half. So that sucks for them. But here's my chance to show them that the rewards are worth it. That we're gonna go someplace that makes all of this discombobulation pay off. And as I haul my poor dog up a golf hole that in any other instance I would be excited we were on together, I know that she's walked too much today because she doesn't even want to keep going here. So come on, Bubba. Hey, come on. I should cut this off. I mean, at this point, I've meandered not only in life, but in this conversation to a point of a new low regarding how little do I care how much I annoy people listening to this. So for that, I do apologize. And perhaps it's the pace of Phoebe and her slow, steady approach to everything in life that made this conversation a little more tempered in its momentum. Or maybe it's the fact that I'm walking uphill. I'm more out of shape than I'll admit. And when you get right down to it, well, I don't even know what I'm talking about, right?